Welcome to the Venly Expert Talks, where we aim to inspire Web3 builders with great stories from great minds. I'm your host, Alexandra Ahrens, and I'd like to remind you that you can always reach out to us on Twitter, Discord, or LinkedIn with ideas for the podcast and questions for our guests. Welcome to episode 25 of the Venly Expert Talks. Today I'm joined by George Basiladze, founder of Vert, and we are going to discuss payments for NFTs. So thanks so much, George, for coming today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining me virtually, I guess I should say. Yeah. So if we can start off first, I'd like to know a bit about your background in life and crypto and what led you up to the point of creating Vert.
Yeah, sure. So it's I've been actually in crypto industry since 2013. I had my previous company in the UK. It's still up and running. It's one of the oldest Bitcoin wallet exchange and prepaid card issuer. So we were pioneers of Bitcoin cards. Like you can spend your crypto whenever a Visa is accepted. 2 and something years ago, I decided to do my own stuff, something new and something that will be used specifically in Web3, because my previous company was it's a centralized exchange, a centralized wallet, and I've seen a lot of things that a lot of things will be happening in Web3 space. So I wanted to merge somehow to get into it, and so I've sold my shares to existing shareholders and established Vert.
Great.
So the idea first came on how it's called Web3 Summit, right in Berlin.
Okay.
The last one, it was so inspirational. Like so many things would happen. So at that time, like DeFi was nothing. There were no NFTs, but like, oh yeah, everybody would need a gateway, and decided to do that together with my co-founder.
Cool. Was there one specific talk or something at that event that kind of spurred the thought or the idea?
So Snowden was participating via video call. And I was like, oh, okay, this is a cool event if Snowden is here. This is something really like, okay, really, it's like a think tank that been gathered for one day. There were different stages and there were people talking about DAOs. And at that time, like only a few people in the world, like, were thinking about DAOs, and there were guys already experimenting with governance, with the voting and everything, and taxes, and it was really inspirational.
Cool, very cool. Good. Then, for anyone that's unaware or unfamiliar, can you take us through Vert and everything that you guys do?
Yeah, sure. So. Wert is a German name for value or worth, and this is a key concept in Karl Marx economic theory. So what we want to do is we want to establish or re-establish or re-explore the connection between money, value, and exchange rate and market value, and how it's all interconnected and what is really value. Everybody knows like price is what you pay, value is what you get. So this is that's about Vert. What we do is we help Web3 projects to onboard the users through purchasing of crypto. So the idea is that buying cryptocurrency is a commoditized service. Like it's a very easy thing to do. It's not a lot of innovation or interesting things to do. So, but in the world of Web3, buying of Ethereum or buying of a custom token is less about the investment and more about, actually the next step that's going to happen. So you buy ETH to do something with it, or you buy token to do something with it. And what we want to achieve, we want to help Web3 projects to onboard those users. So they don't need to pre-buy cryptocurrency, whether it's ETH or a custom token or any other crypto, any form of crypto, and directly onboard or on-ramp them into the final good, whether it's NFT or a governance token or the FI token or anything.
Okay.
That's our main thing. So we get a lot of traction in NFT marketplaces and metaverse companies. So we help the end consumers to one-click purchase NFTs without the need to pre-buy ETH or USDC or Tezos or Polygon, Matic token. They can buy the NFT straight away with a credit or debit card. And the biggest benefit is that for the marketplace itself, or for a Web3 project, they don't need to change anything. Our payment flow sits on top of the existing smart contracts, and our on-ramp is directly integrated into the smart contract. So we invoke a smart contract on behalf of the user with own liquidity and make sure that the user gets the final good.
Okay, good. Thank you. Do you feel like you have to do kind of a lot of hand-holding for your customers? It's maybe an uncomfortable question. Maybe let me rephrase that. How do you advise your customers?
So we have several types of customers. So we have customers that have already some kind of a flow, or from marketplaces that we work with, like Mintable or Known Origin or Rarible. They have an existing flow, and when you talk to founders of those companies, they know what they're doing very good, and they instantly grasp what is the service about and how it can be integrated. There's no problem with that, and everybody is like, "Oh, that's cool. I mean, I don't have to change anything. I just integrate that on top of the existing things." And instead of sending a transaction request to MetaMask, I send a transaction request to Vert. And the integration goes smoothly. Everybody's like, wow, that's cool, that's elegant. But there are other type of clients that are just starting up. And many of them are, big brands, Fortune 500 brands. And they don't really understand the scope of and how Web3 works, that there's a separation between the user and the DApp. And when you sign in with MetaMask, for them this concept is new, and they're like, oh no, we want to do a Web3 thing. Just do payment acquiring for us, and we'll airdrop the NFT. Okay, that's not Web3 spirit. So we try to advise them how to do things properly, because if you do this airdrop style thing, then still there are some issues with compliance, consumer protection, and global regulations. And we advise them to have everything decentralized and Web3. So there are minimum amount of potential issues in the future.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's good. Want to do it properly.
And Web3 is everything. Why anybody want to do things the old way? There's a new way, but I guess project managers and everybody just it's hard for them to grasp the new concept. That's why they're doing that.
Are there any tips or any things that you can say to help grasp that kind of concept for those kind of people?
I would say that they go and try and buy things on Rarible, on OpenSea, buy NFTs when they're just minted, and buy crypto on big exchanges, and to understand the whole user flow and the whole process. Create different wallets, wallet connects, Coinbase wallets, like all those things. And then they they should understand how it all works, and what is like the thing, why Web3 is trustless, and why it's great, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Good. So you did talk a bit about kind of the Fortune 500 companies kind of moving in there. As that happens, obviously the bigger players in the payment industry will probably come along with them. How do you plan to position yourselves against?
There is a clear positioning. So the service that we provide, of course, we reach out to marketplaces and we treat them as clients. But legally, our clients are people buying the NFTs or people buying crypto, and the service is provided always to the end consumer that buys the NFT. So that means that we are liable for all the applicable AML compliance, fraud prevention, chargebacks, and everything. So if somebody want to do this kind of a business, I don't know, Stripe maybe.
For example,
For example, they would need to do applicable AML compliance and be liable for chargebacks. And they are pure B2B companies, so they don't do any kind of a B2C, and they don't want to do that. So ideally, they would partner with companies like us to do vertical integration. So we would be integrated with their processing, and they would be integrated with us in a way that all the clients that they cannot serve due to compliance and regulations are going to be forwarded to Vert, and we're going to be doing processing through them. And in that case, it's just a win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah, definitely. That's good. That you can mesh well together. That's good.
Yeah.
With some of those partners, I guess, could you pick out maybe one or two of your favorite or most interesting use cases and talk about maybe how?
So there's going to be an interesting thing happening next week. We've partnered with a company that's doing NFT ticketing. So they're selling a ticket to the event in the form of an NFT. And they have the default flow, which is a credit card flow. So everything is decentralized. The buyer is buying the NFT. But under the hood thing is that there's a wallet created, and there is an NFT purchase through our payment module, and everything happens on Tesla's blockchain. So the user gets the ticket, but in fact there's an NFT, and based on the NFT, there's like an immersive experience also provided by the company, and this is really great and cool.
That's very cool.
Also, we've done this NFT drop for Avian, the water company. They've done the 20 NFTs collaboration with an artist. Everything goes to a charity, and they've created this like 3D experience where you go on your browser, you end up in a virtual space with NFTs displayed there, and you can buy one, and yeah,
very cool. So how are you able to do a KYC so quickly and efficiently that it doesn't delay the purchasing flow, for example, with credit cards?
So we have, as a regulated company, we have a risk-based approach towards products that we have, and types of transactions that we do. So for us, NFTs are low risk. NFT purchasing is a low risk product. Hence, the AML that we do on NFT purchasing on users that do purchasing the NFTs is different from just purchasing crypto, and that's why all the stuff is so seamless and fast. But still, it's the AML check. It's just under the hood, and it's quicker and faster than usual AML checks.
Perfect. Good. Then maybe more broadly here, how have you seen NFT payments change in the last few years, and what do you expect to be coming in the future that'll have a big impact?
So a year ago, so our first client went live in April 2021. It was Mintable. They were the first NFT marketplace that had credit card purchasing, and we were that engine that helped them do that. So a year before that, there were no payments for NFTs, and a year and a half ago, there were no NFTs. Like, or 2 years, there were no NFTs. Like, payments for NFTs didn't exist. It's the NFT industry is in a very, very early days, and how things are going to change in the future, we never know.
Okay. Okay. Can you, I mean, yes, that's true. Do you care to speculate at all? Anything that you think might be coming?
Yes, I would say that it would be easier. But because the payments industry is a very, very, there's a limited amount of things that you can do. You buy something online, you enter your credit card details, and you get the good. And, you have, in theory, you can have 0% fees, and that's it. Where's the room for innovation? It will become such a commodity that nobody going to be talking about payments, because what can you do about payments? You just pay and that's it. It's just an easy thing.
Okay. I mean, fair. That's fair. So if we switch maybe to the other angle of this then, how can purchasers be safe? How can they go about spotting scams or knowing what's worth buying?
When you buy an NFT, you make a cryptocurrency transaction, which is always final and irreversible. So if you send money to a scammer, nobody can help you. Maybe the police can help you, but yeah. So when you buy an NFT, you should do your own research. Like, there are tips, buy on a reputable NFT marketplace. Check the terms and conditions for refunds and everything. When you check the artist who's actually selling the NFT, and whether the content belongs to that artist, whether the artist is verified on the exchange or not. So new generation of NFT marketplaces now, they're starting to have takedown policies. They're starting to have specific policies on verifying what type of content is being sold, whether the seller is allowed to sell this content, whether there's any copyright issues, and so on. So the industry is going in that direction, which is good. And it's good for the consumer. And also there are card scheme rules, like Visa and MasterCard rules, not the payment provider rules, but Visa and MasterCard, saying that you cannot buy an illicit good with credit on debit card. That means that payment providers should do adequate due diligence on, what is being sold and whether it's genuine good, whether it's so it shouldn't be a replica, and it shouldn't be there shouldn't be a copyright infringement, and so on. So, yeah.
Would you say that those are the rules, those are the things in place that are kind of...
Never send money to a stranger.
Well, yeah, okay. That's not where I was going with that, but that is a good tip. Very, very solid tip.
And especially when buying the NFT, you shouldn't be treating this as an investment. You could, but if you treat this as an investment, you should accept that there is a risk. Every investment bears a risk. But if you buy NFT for fun, for your own collection, or, it's a memorabilia, then, you don't lose anything. You get your experience, you get your emotions, and that's it. You never lose anything. But if you're buying it for an investment, then then you can maybe very frustrated.
No. Okay. Fair enough. With the safety point here, have you heard of, I assume you've heard of the ERC 721R? The ads.
I haven't heard about this R.
You haven't?
I know about the
Okay.
standard, but I heard about the standard, but not about this safe feature.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it's adds trustless refunds to NFT smart contracts. So within a given period, you can get your money back, basically. And that period and the terms and conditions are all agreed upon up front, of course.
If our partners would support the standard, we would support it as well. So if there is a refund thing built into smart contract, then it's something that we will be able to do. But we haven't heard any requests for such a thing.
Okay, it's fairly recent, but good. So overall, though, you would say your thoughts and feelings on this are positive.
Yeah. But I would assume that the artists, the sellers, would avoid that thing, because when they sell, they sell.
Yeah, fair. Okay. So you, in your opinion, then, if I'm correct, it's something that may not be used as much as it could or should. Okay.
Unfortunately.
Okay. All right. Then, maybe you can give me some of the pros and cons that you have for various options for NFT payments that maybe NFT sellers should know about.
Always. So the number one, not a tip, but a principle for every person that sells something, whether it's a service, whether it's a goods, physical or virtual, is that you should be sure that the buyer knows what he's buying, and it exactly matches buyer's expectation. Otherwise, because when there's a mismatch between expectations, then buyer will be frustrated, and he will somehow either want to have a refund, or he will never buy from you on a second time. So the deal should be a good deal always. And the key thing here is symmetry of information. So the buyer should know everything that he needs to know in order to make a good decision. So it's a good deal. And that for NFTs, it's like, when the artist is selling something, first, the buyer should know who the artist is, right? And
first step, for sure.
And why then if you're buying art, then you should you should know something about this art, right? There should be an artist statement, and know more about the piece, and more about the collection, and everything. You can go to a museum. Imagine a museum being an NFT marketplace. You cannot go to a museum without everything. Everything is written there, right? What is this piece called? Where it's been produced? What is it about? There's some descriptions and information about the painter and everything. So if you go to an NFT marketplace, you should know those things if you're buying art, in order to make a good decision.
Yeah, definitely. So with that, that's more, that's a tip for both sides, I suppose, for the buyer and the seller.
Yes, of course.
Right. Are there any tips or any thoughts for sellers on payment processing specifically for their NFTs?
So if the sellers are using our service, we do have a direct contract with the seller. We have a direct contract with the buyer. So We do not verify sellers, and we don't do the KYB of the sellers. So for them, it doesn't make any difference whether the customer is buying with a credit card through Vert or the customer is buying with ETH directly. They just see a transaction, a cryptocurrency transaction, and that's it. So for them, there's no difference. But yeah, that's the answer.
Okay, that's your answer. Good. Maybe you can talk a little bit about how international regulations on virtual currency limit options. And yeah, let's start there.
Yeah. So there's there are two
points of view.
Points of view. So there's the US and there's the US point of view, and the main person in the US, not a person entity that does that, is DFS, New York Department of Financial Services. They haven't made any statement on whether NFTs are cryptocurrencies or not. So if NFTs are cryptocurrencies, that would mean that they would need to whitelist every cryptocurrency that's being sold to residents of New York. And that also would mean that all the companies that are selling or engaging in NFT business would need to have a bit license, which is like, I don't know, $500,000 in fees and a year of waiting time. So that's the one thing. And then there's a European view. So they've, and the main entity there is UK FCA, Financial Conduct Authority. So they made a statement a couple of years ago, and they've distinguished all the cryptocurrencies, and they've separated them in different groups. So there's exchange tokens like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, whatever. Then there are security tokens. Then there are stable coins. And then there are, utility tokens, which are basically goods. So NFTs that are, art, that are, tickets, or they fall into that category. So basically, they are virtual goods, and but there's no clarity on it. It can change anytime, and especially in states, they can issue a statement. It can be a wild statement, like "Oh my God," and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah. Does it? I mean, when you say it changes at any time, is it one day to the next that you have to watch out?
So we have a dedicated compliance person that monitors all the news, regulations, and statements. So same as in every financial institution.
Do those two major points of view, as we're calling them, does that greatly affect how you can do business, who you can do business with, where, and that kind of thing? Or have you found it's not?
They generally limit our ability to offer services to clients, buyers in that jurisdictions. And with Europe has been easy, with US been a little bit more challenging. But you can do things easy way, and then you can do things hard way. So you can limit the service a little bit, or narrow the scope. So you get very limited service, but it can be sold to New York residents, for example. Okay, we're going to do that, but it just takes a lot of time, and it's not just like a beautiful system, which is a single system, like one service that is spread all over the world. But you have to do some carve outs for specific jurisdictions.
Okay. Now, again, nothing is sure in the future, but do you have any hopes or dreams or speculations on how those regulations will change or, be affected in the future?
I have a view that many regulators all over the world try to regulate things that they cannot regulate. And sometimes when they do that, for example, in Europe, there's a new law which is not yet put in force, but what they want to do, they want to ban non-custodian wallets. I mean, if you're a wallet provider, let's say MetaMask, not to advertise anybody, right? So if you're a MetaMask, that would mean that somehow for EU users, you would need to apply KYC on those users. And if you're buying from a big exchange and you're withdrawing that funds to your MetaMask, you will have a limitation of around €1,000 that you can have on a balance. And in theory, what they want to do, I can understand. So they don't want natural persons to have a lot of cryptocurrencies stored in non-custodian wallets. I can understand that, but you cannot enforce that regulation because nothing can prevent you from downloading a wallet from the internet. You just download it from GitHub. It's information. You download a wallet, or you use a source code and you compile a wallet. Okay, you compile an application, and then you go and buy cryptocurrency from your friend. And in theory, it's going to be an illegal transaction, and everybody should go to jail. But why? Like it's so stupid. Like they're trying to create a system which they cannot enforce. And there are other ways how to reach the goals that they have without these things. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, then, yeah, take me through what you think some of those other ways to reach those goals are.
Yeah, so, all this AML and stuff. There is a thing called cash in the world, and you can have any amount of cash. Like banknotes and coins. Like you can have, $100,000 in cash.
Yeah, imagine that.
And there's no law in the world that prevents you from having that money in that form. So why would anybody limit you in having your money in a form of cryptocurrency worth the same amount?
Mm-hmm.
However, what they want to do is they would limit how you travel with that money and how much money you can spend in a single transaction. So obviously there are laws that say that if you're a high value dealer, for example, in the UK, if you sell something which is worth more than £10,000 or £15,000, you should do some kind of a basic KYC on the consumer. And there are certain laws and regulations for real estate agents and in real estate market. So I would say if you treat cryptocurrency the same way you treat cash, everything's gonna just make sense. Okay, you are allowed to have any amount of cash in your house, but when you bring that cash to a bank, the bank obviously will ask you where's the money coming from, like what's the source of funds and so on. And it's the same situation when you have a non-custodian wallet, and then you have a custodian wallet on the exchange. So you bring money from non-custodian wallet to a custodian wallet, and the custodian provider will obviously ask you for the source of funds. And that's okay. This model is much better than what everybody is trying to do. And also, I think that they're trying to fight money laundering and terrorist financing, but I haven't heard that there are terrorists in Germany or Estonia or Sweden or Norway or Portugal. Like, who are they fighting with? Like,
I don't know. That's a different podcast, I
think. Yeah. And if you want to fight money laundering and tax evasion, you can create a system. You bring the transparency to how your people's taxes are spent, and instead of doing penalties for if you don't pay taxes, you better. There are so more like there are many ways how to avoid the problem of tax evasion without enforcing special rules.
Mm-hmm.
You can lower the taxes. You can say that anybody who pays taxes is saint. I don't know, like many ways how to how to do that.
Okay, good. Perfect. Can you tell me maybe specifically or talk me through what you think is currently causing the most friction for NFT purchases and what you feel a solution or two might be?
So in NFT purchases, there were two pain points. One is a payment, and I hope that Vert has solved that pain point, because now you can buy the NFT with a credit card without all this hassle. The second pain point is the wallet. So when you buy an NFT, you still need a wallet where you host this NFT, right? Because it's cryptocurrency, kind of a cryptocurrency, and to have this cryptocurrency, you need to have a wallet. And this also can be solved, not by Vert. Maybe we will add this feature in the future, but you can create wallets on the fly. So when user is buying, they enter the credit card details, there's a wallet generated, and after the purchase, they get the access to this wallet. And we've got a third pain point. So to move the NFT from that wallet to another wallet, you need to pay gas. And even if it's Polygon, it's like a fraction of a cent, but still you need to pay a miner fee. And this also can be solved by Vert. So when we sell the NFT, we will be asking the consumer, do you want to buy a little bit of gas as well? So in the future, you can withdraw that NFT from the wallet.
Okay. So pain points solved.
Yeah.
Everything's great.
Yeah. But some of them solved now. Some of them going to be solved in the future. Solved in the future.
Perfect. Good. Yeah, but the ideal NFT purchase, you kind of laid out what it looks like. How can specifically blockchain developers get involved to help us reach that goal?
I think blockchain developers already did the best that they could. So from the smart contracts perspective, and from blockchain transactions and everything, there's so much flexibility that is available, and it's not a problem. The UI and user experience is a problem. I mean, all those pain points that I've listed, it's not you don't need to be a Solidity developer to solve them. It's more of a product problem rather than a technology problem.
Okay, good. So UI, UX, we've heard this
it's
before.
It's not the buttons. It's not the buttons. It's how it goes, the whole experience.
Functionality.
Yeah, I mean, some people say that I don't want users to buy NFTs directly. I want them to pre-buy ETH first, and then with the ETH buy the NFT, because I want them specifically to feel that pain. Yeah. We had customers that say so.
Someone actually said that to you.
Yeah. But one of the clients that we didn't work with. Yeah.
Okay. So you said, they I don't think that, our visions match.
Because they say that, Web3 thing is really hard and complicated, and if we allow the users to buy easily, then they don't get the whole thing.
Okay.
It sounds, yeah.
That's one perspective. Okay. Yeah. Then maybe not the perfect client match there.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So I just have two last little things here. So do you have anything to plug? Anything new, exciting happening with Vert, or anything that you want to talk about?
No. So maybe yes. I mean, we've raised the funding round recently.
Yeah.
But it's an old. I mean, the news piece is a month old, so I don't know whether it's. Yeah, but we've raised the funding round, and Tagos Capital, Elements Ventures, and Redstone VC invested. Also, there were co-investors, and one of them is Tezos Foundation, which is really great. Like we like Tezos, and we are delighted to have them as shareholders, and we are looking forward into working with more projects in Tezos.
Perfect. Good. And do you have any ideas on who we should have on Venly Expert Talks next?
You should have guys from Polygon Foundation.
From Polygon? Okay. We had one from Polygon. Is there anyone specific that you would be interested in hearing
I don't
from?
know much. I don't know too many people from Polygon, just a couple of guys. They're all cool and they have a great vision. And first I was thinking that Polygon, like with ETH 0.2 emerging, why everybody's talking about Polygon is going to disappear. But then I had a chat with them and I understood, yeah, those guys understand what they do, and this thing should exist very much. Yes, they're great.
Okay, cool. Yeah, then I'll see if I can reach out to them. Cool. Well, then, thank you so much for taking some time and talking to me today. Really appreciate it. And look forward to seeing what happens next. Right?